So I know that the Constitution sets up three branches of government: the executive, the judiciary, and the
legislative?
yes. But what I don't understand is how having three branches of government helps with something called checks and balances. Aren't checks something you write to pay your bills? And isn't the amount of money left over in your bank account after you write a check balance?
Well, that is one definition of those words. But for the U.S. government, checks and balances means that no branch of the government shall have too much power to affect the law. All the branches must work together, and each branch has the power to check or limit the power of the other branches.
But how does that work in practice?
Well, suppose that Congress passed a law saying that journalists could not write any stories about the government. See, that would violate the First Amendment of the Constitution.
It would? How?
Well, the First Amendment of the Constitution says that Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom to the press. So, a law telling journalists that they can't write about a certain subject, such as the government, would be contrary to the Constitution.
I'm still confused. What's abridged and what's the press?
Well, abridging means restricting. And the press refers to printing press. So when we wrote the Constitution, it meant the newspaper. Today it would mean all forms of media: newspaper, magazine, TV, radio, even those things on the internet. I think they're called blogs.
Oh, you mean blogs.
Ah, yes.
So abridging the freedom of the press means restricting the right of the media to write and talk about whatever they want?
Exactly. So the press, the media, cannot be restricted from writing or talking about the government. And that's where the checks and balances come into play.
Oh, yeah, how would that work?
The president, who's the head of the executive branch, could veto the law, and then it would not become a law. Or if it did become a law, the Supreme Court, who's the head of the judicial branch, could determine that the law was unconstitutional, and then it would no longer be a law. You see the checks there?
Yes, so both the executive and the judiciary branch have the power to check the Congress to pass a law?
Right. But Congress has a check as well. Suppose the president vetoes a proposed law. Congress could vote on it again, and if it passes a second time, it would still become a law despite the president's veto. All these checks have balances so that each branch of the government cannot become too powerful, and each would have equal power.
It's a very interesting system. I think I understand now.
Well, very good. And speaking of checks, here's the check. I think that you should write a check for our drinks. Just make sure you keep track of how much money you spend so you know the balance in your bank account.